Hi guys, I'm Ree.
I'm Mark.
And this is The Need to Know. So guys, we're back. I know last week we didn't have an episode. You guys got some bloopers. Listen, we're funny. Listen, we're just funny.
They're hilarious.
Today, we have one guest, and you all know who she is. We're gonna have her back again. And of course, it's always fun. Today's topic, I will not be on camera. They will be on camera. It will be very short and sweet and simple. We're gonna talk about communication. We have spoken about communication several times before, but I had a little conversation with a friend of mine, and I think the conversation was a good topic. Well, the question, I should say.
She made a good topic.
No, the question.
Like the question made a good topic.
Oh, yes. The question made a good topic. So we're gonna go piggyback again to communication, and we're actually gonna throw a little sex in there. You already know the deal about it. I gotta throw the spice in there just a little bit. Without further ado.
All right, y'all, I'm Mar.
I'm Gabby.
And it's the Need to Know. I don't usually do that, so it's like, all right.
Today, you guys are gonna, let me tell you the question that I said. So the question was, how do you express emotions when you're not used to it? When you're not in tune with your own personal emotions? How do you gain an emotional bond with someone else that they're trying to have an emotional bond with you, but you don't know how to give it back?
You go first.
Would you like the scenario?
Yes, the scenario.
Okay, so we're gonna use you two. So you guys are friends, and one of you guys, whichever one you want to pick to be this person, doesn't really cater to emotions or doesn't know how to be in tune with their own emotions. So they're not emotionally intelligent in that way of expressing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to ask you a question, but I don't know how to ask it without being offensive, but lenient, more catering to you, but also coming off as I'm being honest. So you guys could pick whichever friend, and answer it however you want to answer it. I think it should be you because it was a guy that asked the question.
Yeah. All right, so I guess in a sense, like, say.
It's a complicated question, so loaded.
So this person asked me this question because he was comfortable enough to actually ask me this question to my face. But to the person he wanted to, I'm assuming, have this conversation with, he didn't know how to approach it. So
it's like a question that
so it was
may
more
come off
like,
offensive to someone. Oh, okay,
so it was, I can ask you, he can ask me because he built that comfortability with me to actually be able to have this conversation. Opposed to this person who's actually trying to figure out, how can I be emotionally available to you the way that you're trying to be emotionally available with me?
Okay, I see what you mean. I get it.
I get it too.
So your emotional availability, I think that's what.
That's like, okay. I would say with mine, I think I'm in tune with mine. Like I know what situations I'm in, how I react to certain things. But when it comes to somebody else, I'm the type of person that tests the waters before I ask the full question. Like I'll bring up a scenario, like say for example, because I know like most people are not, like, they don't really care, but some girls, like say for example with a period, like if they're on a period, or if you be like, oh, like if a guy wants to ask like, yo, why do girls be acting mad crazy when they're on their period?
Why be acting crazy when y'all on your period?
But yeah, like I'm the type of person, like I'll bring up a scenario. I'll be like, yo, if I'm talking to my girl, I'll be like, yeah, you know, some girls going crazy today at work, blah blah blah. I'll see how she's reacting to that before I be like, okay, let me not ask that question. If I was to say something like that and she'd be like, well, how is she acting crazy, blah blah. If she gets defensive automatically, I already know that asking that question would not only start an argument, but it might come off offensive. Even though I'm not that person to ask that question, it's like, bro, they on their period. But yeah, but for certain conversations like that where it becomes like, it could come off offensive, I kind of test the waters. Like I'll throw out scenarios I'll say the word without actually saying it to see what you do. If you come off like lenient, like you just have a calm conversation, like, or you give me the same reaction that I normally give, then it's like, okay, it's easier for me to just ask you, like, okay, then such and such, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't always work though, because sometimes you could think like, okay, they're cool, and then you ask them a crazy question and it's like, they go off and it's like, okay, my bad. So, but that's usually how I do it.
I see what you're saying, testing the waters and all that, but I don't have time for that. Like, I don't know, for me, like, I feel like it's just knowing, like, the people that you engage with and knowing, like, the people that you surround yourself with, like, just, like, I mean, if I didn't know them, I don't know, learning, like, I see what you're saying, like, using context clues or throwing out a scenario first. I'm not going to do that. Like, I try to read body language. And I try to be as authentic and as straightforward as possible because, like, I don't know, at a certain point, I feel like we're grown. Like, just say what you have to say. Like, you know how to speak. You know how not to speak. And if you're offended, if someone, like, just say, oh, I'm offended by your question, and I'll let you know. I'll clarify, like, listen, I didn't mean it that way, or this is how I meant it. Yeah. Because if I'm asking you a question, it's out of genuine curiosity. Like, it's not me trying to bash or offend nobody, because I don't have time.
Now let's add the part that's missing from this scenario. If this person is coming to you to ask you, if you guys are going on a date or you guys are just hanging out, and you guys are intimate in some type of way, like either it's romantic, it's either you guys have some type of romantic relationship, how little or small that it is, or you guys are actually physically intimate with each other. If one moment you guys are actually doing that and the next moment you guys aren't in tune with that, how do you go about the next step of that situation? Is it, do I approach you and say, oh, is this what this is? Or do I just see how it goes constantly each time we hang out?
Oh, I'm confused. Like, are you just saying, like, do we skip straight to the sex?
Oh, it's like one moment, like, oh, y'all kissing, touching
so
hands,
one
and
day
next thing
we're
y'all not.
doing all of these things, and the next day we're just regular, platonic, having a conversation, and then it's like, it's being addressed, but one person doesn't want that.
I'm so confused. Like, is that normal? Like,
no, that's super normal. That's super normal, but in this case, it's more of like this one person that's, I'm gonna say pushing it, but that's not the word I'm looking for. Well, trying to engage in this activity is not, this person just naturally does this all the time, opposed to whoever you are, and it's just like, it's if I'm in the mood, or this is not the right moment, or I'm just not looking for that right now. So how does that conversation come up? Do you be like, okay, well, why is it that this is happening? Or do you just see how it goes every time you see each other?
I feel like, I don't know, but I feel like it's not that serious. Like, what? Like, we having a conversation. Listen, if I wanna, be intimate, I'm gonna let you know. Like, we don't need to have a conversation about that. Listen, you already know. Like, I'm gonna give you some, like, hints or some type of, like, body language or something like that. Like, why does it need to be a conversation? We can have a conversation, a normal conversation one day, and then not have sex, and then just have sex another.
I agree.
So, like, I'm like, what? I'm confused.
But this came from someone who, like, they're naturally like that. Like, they naturally, like, they want to engage in sex. Like, that's just something.
All the time.
Yeah. Like,
oh,
that's just their, yeah, like,
that's who they are.
Yeah, that's just who they are. Like,
they're sex
regardless.
addict. Wow.
Not so much a sex addict, but it's like,
they should get some help.
if there's some type of attraction and there's this comfortability there, I feel like that's where he just naturally leads to.
Okay, so sorry, quick question. So the person, this could be with just anybody. If they're just sexually attracted to them, they want to just have sex. It's
yeah,
not
if this is somebody that they're trying to pursue in some type of way.
Oh, not just any random person, like they have a conversation.
Is somebody, no.
Like they're in a relationship with.
No, this is who they're trying to pursue. Like, it doesn't have to be a relationship. Like, they talk to this person. If they talk to this person, like, yeah, like.
I don't know. I feel like.
For example, okay, let me break it down this way. This is somebody who is free-spirited in terms of, okay, they want to explore their options and not be in anything committed.
Okay.
So this person is that free spirit. Right. So in terms of that now, this person engages in multiple people.
Oh wow.
Right. So regardless if this person's a friend or not, that sexual attraction can be there.
Right.
Which I feel is not really a bad thing. It's just this person just has this type of reaction to these people. because he's attracted to them. I don't really see what's wrong with that, but.
So he don't listen. He basically not just trying to have any conversation. He's just trying to fuck every time he sees person. That's
no.
weird.
Well, no, he can have a conversation.
No,
too.
he's like, so there's conversations being engaged. It's just like eventually, as the night goes on, that's not
like sex.
Some sex is on the mind. Like that's a thing. So it's like, how do you approach somebody and ask, well, why is it that that's not the case all
Without
the
coming
time?
off strong.
Yeah, like without coming off too strong, or without actually making them feel uncomfortable, because that is personally an uncomfortable question.
Right.
So from the girl's perspective, if she were to ask him, how does she not offend him? I don't know.
No, see that's the thing. For a girl, it's easier. You can just be like, well,
Because most guys.
yeah, it's like they're gonna
sex.
tell you like that's what they wanted. That's not what they don't want.
Yeah, I don't know.
But for a guy, okay.
But for a guy to ask
It's
a girl,
harder.
how are you gonna be emotionally available for them where it's not gonna be offensive?
Right.
How do you just? And that was something that was asked. Like, how do you? I was like, why don't you ask the person that you're trying to ask? And he was like, oh, I asked you because I was more comfortable with you telling me whatever your response would be, opposed to if I'm asking her and she would have got offended by it. So I asked, why do you think that she would be offended by it?
Okay, I understand the question now.
But
Yeah.
I mean, like to Gabby's point, I feel like we all grown. At this point, it's like, I understand. I get why he feels like, because it's a sensitive like subject. Most people or most girls feel like, well, I don't want to speak for girls, but I feel like a lot of people put sex somewhat on a pedestal. It's kind of like some people don't have sex until like you're in a relationship with them. Whereas some people feel like, okay, sex is just sex, like I'm gonna have sex with you, whatever. And for some people, like sex is more of it's not just physical, but there's an emotional attachment to it. So it's like once you have sex with that person, you're emotionally attached. So that's why I'm like, I understand why he feels like certain people might be offended. But yeah, to Gabby's point, it's like we all grown. Like I feel like if you just kind of hint at it or just ask and they say no, or I feel like certain times, even the fact that we're adults, you could kind of tell the vibe. Like you could sense what's going on. Like you could see the energy. If she's like touchy feely with you, and she's like, she's grabbing your thing, like
she wanna
more than likely she want it.
She wanna get it on.
But if she's not intimate with you at all, like if she's pushing away, like she's not in the mood, or she's like not holding your hand, and you could kind of tell, like, all right, this is not the wave. I understand, like for your sex drive, like you might be in tune, like you might want to have sex right then and there, but more times than not, like it's not gonna happen all the time. So you gotta kind of be in the mentality that even though I want it, like it's not guaranteed to happen. So
answer this question. Okay, so for you, I'm the girl, for you, I'm the guy. If I'm with you and I want to, and I'm like, we're having a conversation, and let me explain this. I think this is so much easier now. We went out. We went to go eat. Simple thing. We went to go out to eat. We're having a conversation. We're talking normal, like we're friends, blah, 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 blah. Regular conversations, it goes into whatever aspect of how comfortable you are, if it's going to go into sex or not sex. Like, and I don't mean like, oh yeah, we're going to have sex just like, oh, something sexual because I seen this movie or this person said this and da da da. I want to know how you feel about it. Then it's like, it goes into now your reaction or your views about something. And it's like, okay, well, were you comfortable expressing yourself, or were you a little like, I didn't want to share towards me? And then now, towards the night, depending on your answer now, how do you feel about pursuing sex? Are you comfortable having sex now because you were comfortable on this date, we're going to call it a date? Or is it, I'm not in the mood? And did you think about, were you in the mood from the beginning, or did it gradually just, oh, this is a nice night, whatever happens, I'm comfortable with whatever happens?
I feel like it depends on the vibe. Like, depending on what question, like, is asked, what, like, topic we cover. Like, if you say something completely offensive, like, all girls need to be submissive, or something like that, I'm gonna look at you crazy. I'm gonna get up and leave. It's no after, no sex, nothing. What? Submissive who? You better get yourself a little, whoever else, because it's not here, not right now. Listen, not at all. Yeah, like, just, if you're not saying nothing too crazy, I feel like, okay, we can have an open conversation. That's how you get to know one another. But like, if you say something extremely offensive, nah, boo-bah.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's all in the conversation, how things are flowing that night. Like, if things are moving smoothly, like you see her smiling, she's like touching up on you, then even if you was to ask a sex question and you notice that she's open about it, I'm not saying like, okay, poof, like she wants to have sex, because...
Let me throw this in here first. There was no touching, there was no nothing. Y'all was just having a conversation.
We're just having a conversation.
All it was
Oh,
was
okay.
y'all having a conversation. Was you guys comfortable enough to pursue whatever the night led to? Regardless if it was sex or not? Like,
Yeah, it depends though.
Yeah,
Like,
I feel like it depends.
it depends on the vibe. Like, if the vibe is there, like, I feel like more times than not, if you could have like a conversation with somebody and it just flows naturally and like you barely had conversations with them,
Yeah.
that's kind of like a indicator, like, okay, it could lead to that.
And if you look good too. Woo.
Yeah, like if you got a nice haircut, you dress nice,
Good, like,
you know what I'm saying? If you wearing something nice too, it's like,
yeah.
I feel like it's all about that conversation. Like that conversation, if it goes smoothly, like it flows well, like nothing is being said that's like hurtful or offensive, or it just, I don't know, if it just smooths out, like it could lead to that. I'm not saying it's guaranteed, you know, y'all gonna have sex, but there's a greater chance that you would, as opposed to it not going smoothly and you think, all right, I'm about to smash. Like,
period. Like, put it like this, like I went to DR and then it was this guy I met. We was talking like for hours, just about anything. He had like shared with, like, I don't know if because he was drunk, but like he shared his deepest secret with me, like while we met in that one time frame. And then I think, okay, so his deeper secret pertained to sex, and then we were able to have like an intimate relationship not right after, but you know, after that. So I'm just like, okay, like if it's something like that, we having a good 5-hour conversation in the pool, everything flows, everything goes. Listen, we could go.
So now let's simplify the scenario. So you guys are inside, you guys are comfortable, you guys are just having a regular conversation, you're watching TV, blah 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 blah. Now it's like, are you in the mood or you're not in the mood? Are you chilling or you just like, that's not, or we can do whatever goes as it goes? Mind you, you're just talking about little things, like there's just sporadic conversations. How you doing? How you feeling? You know, what you doing? What's going on? Blah blah blah.
For me personally, knowing myself, I think I would need something deeper than just like. I don't want to say deeper, like on some emotional.
Wow, you talking
kind
about
of
the
thing.
pussy?
Nah, I'm saying like more times than not, like I don't know, for somebody that I'm not really close to, because I know myself, I'm more of a relationship type of person. Like if I'm not in a relationship with you, chances are like I probably don't want to have sex with you, even if the conversation is good. But I mean, it could happen, like you have like a really deep conversation with somebody, and like within that deep conversation you learn a lot about a person, and it's like, okay, then you kind of feel more comfortable too. But knowing myself, like if I'm not in a relationship with you, like it don't matter how good the conversation is, like my horniness level is just not there. Like I could find you attractive, I could think like, yo, you look good, like I would smash, but like I don't know, for me I think I need something deeper than just a conversation.
You make me feel bad, Shabam. Shit, you make me feel like a
Nah, that's just who I am. Like
I'm joking. But nah, I feel like, listen, fuck the small talk. I see what you're saying. We need to talk about something more substantial. We need something of substance, having like deeper conversations. But I also feel like sex shouldn't be planned. Like, listen, we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna have sex after that. Because that's like, mad weird to me. Like that's gonna turn me off. Like, listen, if it happens, it happens. If it's someone I want to be with, it's someone I'm attracted to, and I'm comfortable enough being intimate with, then listen. And vice versa, and you're comfortable being intimate with me, then that's okay. All right. I'm not planning it out like at all. Like, listen, we need to talk first. Then that's when it's gonna happen now. Because that's mad weird. That's widow energy.
So how do you guys feel about your answers now that you said it?
Fine.
never mind.
So if you're going out now, so if you guys are going out on a date, what are you gonna do? You need a deep conversation to have sex?
What do you mean? Like, okay, so right now where I currently am at, I feel like, yeah, like with my personal journey right now, yeah, like. So let me ask this question. What is your comfortability with your sexuality in terms of having sex? Like, how comfortable are you with your personal sexuality? Are you an introvert or extrovert when it comes to your sexuality? Are you like, I'm gonna jump out whatever makes me feel comfortable? Or is it like, we have to be exclusive? Not like, so there's no casual anything. It has to be, this is what it is. Like, we have to be in something.
I would say for myself, I'm more introverted. I'm kind of. I mean, I'm not saying like there could be. I'm not saying it's like permanent. Like there could be a time where I might just say, yo, fuck it. Like, but I feel like knowing myself right now, yeah. Like, you never know. Like one day it could happen where I'm just like, you know what? Like I'm tired of like hiding and like being to myself. It's more like, yeah. I mean, cause I am a Leo, so you know what I'm saying. No, I'm playing. But knowing myself, like I feel like I'm more on the like I gotta be exclusive. I don't know. I can't find myself to jump on somebody that is not mine. Just cause I know myself, like I'm more of a jealous type. So like if I know somebody else has you, like that's a turn off for me. Like I want you for myself, pretty much. So I feel like in order for me to like want you, like you gotta be mine, like for sure.
No, that's a noble answer. I'm so proud of you. I feel like I used to be like that. Like I used to be very introverted when it comes to sex, and I feel like more so now I'm becoming more extroverted. So I'm still an ambivert when it comes to sex. I feel like while you're young, you should explore. You should figure out, like, don't limit what you think you like, because you may like a whole nother plethora of things. So I feel like, you know, just I'm in the process. I actually took a year to figure out what I like as a woman when it comes to sex, just for me. And I feel like it's been very eye-opening, very rewarding. Now I'm ready to like explore further. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm ready to further explore and be more open and out there with my sexuality, not as conservative as before.
So you could say your social media and stuff.
Okay, you can follow me on Twitter at The Gabby Show. That's TheGabby Show, SHO, no W. And on Instagram at Gabrielle, GA.BREEEL.
I'm done with you. So guys, that was our wonderful, wonderful show. Thank you for Gabby. Thank you to Gabby for coming back again for the millionth and 10th time. This is one of our fan favorites. Let me push this. The updates that we have for you guys is make sure you put your name in the basket of subscribers. Like, come on, like get us to 500 subscribers so that we could do another one for you guys. Like, come on, get it together.
November 30th.
November 30th. We're gonna go on live and we're gonna share the winner. Cool. Personal update. My book, guys. Make sure you get a copy. You can get a signed copy from me, or you can just order it online. Go on my website. It's right on the first page when you click on my website. My website is serenacastillo.org. Check that out. As always, make sure you follow me on social media. My Instagram and my Twitter is @thehost.
And y'all can follow me on social media. My Instagram and Twitter is _WeWantMore.
And make sure you follow the wonderful shows page on Instagram and Twitter, guys. It's TNTK Show. As always, thank you for watching the show.
And that's all you need to know.
Bye, guys.